Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Thinking of myself like what the fuck is going on? Asking God for help like what the fuck I'm doing wrong? He ain't giving me no answers, I figured it out myself. Got tired of asking questions, I'm tired of looking for help. Man, I can't win for losing, I'm steady taking these losses. Had to bury greed and cheat same week, 2 different coffins. Man, that shit'll traumatize you when it ain't trying to. Everybody shedding tears, you trying not to cry too. They say they feel my pain, but they don't know how much I'm hurting. Mama told me pray, it usually help, but it ain't working. Just the numbness pain.
I'm from Flint, Flint. Fight like it's no tomorrow, motherfucker.
Go ahead. Because I read the report and I've been sitting here watching Miss Shasta do all these jobs by herself with no funding.
No P card.
Out of her pocket.
No P card.
No P card, being blocked on the P card. Coming to us, telling us that we could not get a quorum for this group of people over and over again. Now all of a sudden, they've been trying to get together and she dropped the ball. No, they didn't want to be bothered with this. She didn't drop the ball. It dissolved itself because you didn't have the people. When you had the people, you didn't make quorum. And then this is what's so disappointing about Mr. Evers. You took the time to draft this, to ride Miss Shasta, but yeah, you can't even get her water. You got a water cooler for the entire building for the city down here. And this lady got to either walk across the building to get water or buy water out of her pocket. Then you held her money up and paid her less than the position called for and blocked her intentionally. We had to fight for her pay. And now that she's finally getting her pay, all of a sudden she's not qualified for the job. Why? Because the job finally paid what he should? Why? Why he's so concerned now? He hasn't been concerned about this office. All this time we've been crying about a P card, crying about places to meet, crying about water, crying about needing investigations done and not having the funding to get it done. He came up here and spoke to us about how all we got to do is send him an email and he's going to get to this person and get to that person. And we sent him emails and we ain't heard from him or seen him concerning those issues no more until now when he want to dog walk Miss Shasta. This is why the whole city is in disarray like it is, because it always comes down to targeting somebody. Because in my opinion, without all the information, since he sent it and it came up and I looked at it without all the information at a meeting, it always comes down to when the person who's in the job is doing their best and staying neutral and out the mess, they targeted to be drugged and dog walked on their job. Let's face it, we got an issue going on here. And it looked like to me now it's Miss Shasta's turn to be targeted. Everybody quit. This woman been down here by herself. When we wouldn't show up, she showed up. I mean,
Hey, with that being said, we got Miss Carol McIntosh, currently a member of the E&B board, first ward candidate, lifelong Flint resident, GM, UAW worker. What more can I say? What more can I say? Go ahead. Introduce yourself.
NAACP member, Jackson State University graduate, and advocate for the community. That's it. Just trying to get what we deserve here in Flint.
Hey, that's enough. Like I said, she here today. We're gonna figure some things out for the first ward. She running for the great councilman, the late LLEMAYS seat, which means a lot to me.
Yes.
Not only I'm a resident of the first ward, you know what I mean? Meant a lot to me, man. And I don't want to know anybody in this seat. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't no hater. I want the best person possible to replace. I mean, we go. Hey, Eric was like, I want to put this. He was like every 30 years. Nobody like him come along every 30, 40 years. He was a generational, you know what I'm saying, person, like a Martin Luther King's person like that. But we you know what I'm saying, we just need the right person to replace him. We can
Yeah.
never replace him. I don't want to keep
No.
saying that, but we can
Right.
we can get somebody gonna fight for the people. And
Yes.
that's what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to do. And that's what we're
And
here
you,
today to do. Um
right. And
go
we
ahead,
have
go
to
ahead.
understand. And we have to understand when you're talking about having someone like the late Mr. Eric Mays, and you want somebody to do or model themselves after him. We have to understand it comes with a lot of isolation. It comes with financial targets. It comes with so many things that are negative because it is something going on here in Flint and it's not beneficial to the residents. And whenever you oppose capitalism, corruption, things like that, you got to know that it's going to be some problems to come along with that. You have to be prepared or do your best to stand up and hold up because the ultimate goal is to break you and to get you to sell out and turn your back on the people. And I'm just not here for that. I'm not here for the sellout. I'd like to see the city move forward, the entire city. I love the first ward. I went to Gundry Elementary in the pre-K, and I graduated from Flint Northwestern. So I've spent all of my life basically in the first ward. But I love my city as a whole, and I know we can do better. I've seen us do better, and we have to understand what is going on now. It's not a coincidence. Okay, it's not a coincidence. So I just want to say that.
Right.
Mr. Mays,
Yeah.
Mr. Mays fought hard for us and he sacrificed a lot. People don't realize that his finances was attacked, his character was attacked. People uh, started painting him in a negative light. But the entire time, he never lost focus of what he was there for, and that was to fight and to stand up for the people. So that is why I was so fond of Mr. Mays. And
Yeah, he was.
that's a hard thing to do because it often, like I said, includes you standing alone. Everybody can't take that pressure.
Yeah, he definitely was a great man, and he stood on business as the youngins say. He definitely stood on business.
Yes.
Let's just get into it. Let me see what I got for you first. I'm gonna play this clip, and I want you to elaborate. This on the blight. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Hold on one second. Get it together.
I'm live here on Kermit Street. They're finally tearing down these houses. So they tearing down one that's 5317. Then they missed this one. It's on another list. I'm gonna walk over here where they tore down this house. What a difference it's gonna make around here in this neighborhood. Just gonna be filling them in, filling the holes in. They tore down this house. There's the water. So I wasn't out here for the actual demolition, but the houses are gone. There's a house gone here. There's another one to be torn down. There's 5317 Kermit, sister's house, and then there's the last house down here that they tore down. So, first ward, it's a blessing for this cleanup. Well, she got a current, right? Oh, wow. How y'all doing?
The tax people, yeah. Everybody else is gonna pay for it because they sure.
Demolition. Oh, wow. Tearing down all of that. Work it, boy. Susie's house, and she will be taking care of these lots. So there will be 2 cleanups here in the first ward starting tomorrow. Barnell Home Neighborhood Association will be cleaning up in the first ward, and we have the Heritage Manor neighborhood gonna be cleaning up. So come on out and join us. There will be a dumpster at Hasselbring Senior Center. So bring your stuff. I just wanted to give you a preview of what's going on here on Kermit Street. This is Kermit Street neighborhood. Yeah, demolishing.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yes.
Okay. That's important to me especially being a first world resident. What's your take on blight, on keeping the community safe and clean? Because to me, they using blight in some cases as the new hustle. You know what I mean? But that's another story though. But
Well,
what's your take on that?
well, since you said that, I'm going to take it from the top. I think what has happened to Flint has been very intentional because the land bank ended up with so many of these homes, and residents were excited and wanted to purchase these homes. But for years, the land bank wouldn't even sell you a property. They determined that you couldn't afford it. And so they just wouldn't sell it to you, wouldn't even give you a chance. My thought is, if you're going to just let it fall in and become dilapidated, why not give a person a chance? Because if they lose it, it comes back to you anyway. I think that's why I say it was intentional, because the same residents that they said couldn't afford these homes are the same residents that they expect to cut the lines and to keep boarded up. When I was on the school board, I talked to a gentleman who was over the land bank. He was new at the time, and he informed me that the land bank only cuts their lines once a year. And they rely on residents to, if to board it back up if the boards come down. They really rely on the community, but yet they would not give the community the opportunity to purchase these homes. So that created blight because they let it fall. They want to sell them when it costs 50, 60, $80,000 to fix them up. I think that was very intentional because those could have been um, affordable housing for people in the community that could have created situations for landlords to earn income that could afford it, and then they rent those properties out to people who, Section 8 or whatever their situation is and give them an option to buy. But that process was never allowed because the land bank basically hoarded all the properties, and I think they're largely responsible for a lot of this blight because then those properties become dumping grounds, and things of that nature. And then the next thing you know, you have the community having to get grants or coming out of their pocket or whatever they're doing, to keep it decent because they have to look at that stuff every day. So I think what has happened to our city is very intentional. It is not a mistake, a mishap, a oversight. Flint has been intentionally left out um on so many levels, but that's what I think about the blight. Now here we have a situation, and they're tearing them down slowly but surely. But what about keeping the lots? Some of the grass is so high when you're at the corner, if it's a corner lot, you can't even see out there to pull out to make your turn or whatever you're going to do. Why is it that a resident, if my grass is high, you can complain to the city and they'll send me a two, three, $400 or however many hundreds of dollars bill for cutting my grass, but you allow the land bank to get away with all this high grass and these dilapidated properties? This is the state. How come you're not holding them accountable? So I have so many emotions about the blight, but I go back to the fact that before these homes are in these conditions, give the residents an opportunity to purchase when they're decent, because it was a time when the whole city was decent. And so that's the disappointment for me. But I would also like to see some of these lots. The soil would have to be tested, but I would like to see, because I tried to buy some lots from the land bank and they actually declined me. And I wanted to turn them into like community gardens and just, let people in the neighborhood come down and work the land and plant, and that, because I love gardening and things and flowers and stuff like that. So I figured,
Yeah.
you let people from your community keep it up since you expect so much from them. And in turn, with the rise of the cost of living in groceries, they can come down and get fresh vegetables, which is basically a necessity because we're in the middle of a water crisis. About the
Right.
fresh eating that we needed to do because our lead levels were so high from the water crisis. Well, guess what? We're still in a water crisis. We faced a water crisis and a pandemic at the same time. And I just
Right.
feel like Flint has been forgotten. And there's so many things that we can do to sustain ourselves, but I feel like we have gatekeepers that are making sure those things don't happen. And so
Right.
I think that has a lot to do with the position that we're in.
And I'm gonna tell you what, you've been doing your homework. That was dead on because it's definitely by design. I was
Yeah,
just saying the same thing, similar about the land bank. They they take the houses hostage, let them sit up 5, 6, 7 years. They crumble. Now they blight. That's
now
why
they
I said
ready
it's the
to
new
sell them.
hustle. That's why I said then they come through, knock them down. Now it's a blight. You know what
And
I'm
now
saying? Well, like
and
you
then they
said,
want you. And then if you buy one and trying to fix it up, because I bought a house from the state sale. And the next thing I know, they got my house on the demo list, but they had the address mixed up. So I went to court and fought it and all this, and nothing. I'm out of court. I had paid a lawyer. You see what I'm saying? The city of Flint, the residents, we can't afford that. It's the constant runaround. It's the constant. It's just terrible, and it's only because of the leadership and because they're not. I bet you they're not doing this out in Fenton and Flushing and Swartz Creek, and I think they're probably going to get way more respect than we get here. Um, and I'm going to be, it's just so much. It's so much that goes into it, and we have to be aware, and we have to open our eyes, and we have to stand together and put personal feelings aside, personal relationships aside. Um,
right,
like
right.
like I always say, if the seniors can make it and the families with small children can make it, then there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to make it.
It's too many
So,
self agendas. That's what it
that-
is.
yes, and that is how we got in this position because everybody always thinks once they cut so many throats and be two-faced that they're going to sit at the table and they'll be the person, cracking the whip on the rest of them that they've kept their foot on neck. And it just doesn't work like
Absolutely.
that. You're usually used up, chewed up, and then spit back out when they no longer need you. And then the next
Right.
thing you know, they're running back to the community trying to play the race card when the whole time you were in full participation of the nonsense until you became a victim of it.
Right.
So,
Okay. Miss Carol. What is your long term plans for the first ward? What's your goals? You know what I'm saying, as far as long term.
well, first of all, I would like to deal with the blight issue because blight creates crime. Blight
Okay.
creates rodent issues. Rodents create disease and things of that nature, illnesses. They carry illnesses and things like that. And it's all a domino effect. So we do have to get control over our blight. We do have to be a little more proactive when we're dealing with third party organizations that come in our community. I think number one, the land bank needs to be addressed. Okay. If this is the best that they can do, then it seems to me the city should be able to handle the land bank. What is the land bank doing for us that is so great that we need them? Cutting grass once a year? That could be jobs for people in the communities. I remember back in the day when we had summer jobs, students and young people. You can get a summer job, and those jobs were cutting grass, working at churches and nonprofits, and at schools in the summertime when they used to have day camps. You know, we are still that community. We're just not being allowed the opportunities that we used to have. All the opportunity has dried up, and we have to realize we have to hold elected officials accountable. So my plan would be address the blight, and then I'd like to see some of those properties going back to the community. Because, like I saw, one of your questions said that we're slowly becoming a renters city. Well,
Absolutely.
new apartments when you get into these new metropolitan cities in Texas, my sister's rent went up to $2,200 a month for a two-bedroom apartment. And it wasn't lavish. It wasn't a Park Avenue, just a regular 2-bedroom apartment.
I know somebody. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
And
I was.
they
I
know
was. Go ahead.
they know we can't afford, a lot of people can't afford home ownership. So now you're going to be forced into a slave situation. You notice nobody's showing up at the jobs. The community is fed up. So, like I said, I would like to see self-sustainability for the entire city. We need um, a public um, a public safety program, a real protocol that the citizens understand. I talked with a lady well, in the first ward. She had an issue. She called the police, and 2, 3 days had gone by, and nobody's returned her call. I mean, and she said she did. I don't know that to be true, but I've heard stories like that. I heard one woman, car got stole. They told her to stand right there. 3, 4 days that went by, they still hadn't showed up. That's unacceptable. So when you have police not showing up, blight out of control, blight creates crime because unlawful people do unlawful things in abandoned houses. Now we got, it's so much that comes with that. So I would like to see the land bank addressed. I would like to see a public safety plan, and I would also like to see a planned blight type of scheduling, something that the residents can call in and say, or whatever, a plan. We need to sit down as members of the community and with our local officials and people that hold these positions. And we need to come up with a solid plan that everybody understands, that is operable every day, all day, and we can see the work being done in the community, all the time, not just sometimes, because to run a city, it's a everyday, all day job.
Right. Um. Correct. And I think something needs to be done fast. And like
But
you
I
said,
do
we
want to
need to.
say this. I
Go
do want
ahead.
to say this too. Miss Harletta runs Blight, is dealing with Blight now, and she's amazing. But she can't do it alone. And she has to have authorization from people over her to do certain things. She can't just decide, she's going to do this and she's going to do that. So that's why I said we need a Blight plan. Not that she is not doing an amazing job. She's doing what she can. But I think we as a whole have to get together and really come up with some solid plans to address these issues.
Right. Correct. What's your thoughts on that trash contract? Dennis Pfeiffer came on my platform a couple of months ago, and he said that that was going to get us one step closer to emergency management. That
Absolutely,
trash
because,
contract.
well,
Yeah.
first of all, the law says you have to have a competitive bidding process. If you are giving out contracts and don't even know how much the contract is, how are you offering a competitive bidding process? And then the same city council, and then that's going to be $2 million over budget that will probably ultimately be tacked on to the taxpayer on top of this 33 to 35% water hike that they want to do. And then we have some other issues going on that's going to create um, debt to the city. And we will be being, it won't be long because the state is coming in to complete our water line replacement. It is no reason why that should be happening, because I feel like, in my opinion, if we had a real city attorney, if I was the city attorney, I would begin with some more attorneys going after whoever is sitting on that $600 million water payout for the water crisis and making them up some of those dollars to replace the pipes. Why wouldn't you? That is common sense. But we have attorneys who agreed to accept one thing, and then when they seen the money rolling in, decided they needed more, which is fine, but they shouldn't be allowed to hold the money up from the victims when lives are hanging in the balance because of their greed. It seems to me, when it comes to Flint, it is always okay for somebody higher than us with a title to get away with pimping us out. Okay? People have died. We still don't have clean drinking water 10 years in. Our pipes have still not been replaced. Okay, that is shameful. And to be in a position where the state has to come in and do this work, Yes, that's where we're headed. We have a
Oh,
from school to prison pipeline.
right,
Okay.
right,
That means children in your community cannot be properly educated. If they cannot be properly educated, they cannot seek uh proper employment that would afford them a decent lifestyle. Okay, education is detrimental to their future. And then on top of that, they're still being poisoned by the water. And we already know it has what? It comes with cognitive issues, behavioral problems. We saw honor students going from honor roll students to being special ed students. None of that has been addressed. It was all predicated around the children. Well, don't you think some of those kids that ended up with behavioral problems are probably now in prison?
right.
So now they've been forsaken. So really, no matter what they do to us, we talk about it for a minute and then it's swept under the rug.
Yeah, they be worrying about the wrong. Excuse my English. They be worrying about the wrong shit in Flint, Michigan. It shouldn't be no other greater conversation in this city than water, clean water.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Everything else
Absolutely.
is that's what they no pun intended. Water under the bridge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And then this is the thing. How long will it take for them to unloose the water crisis money to the what are they waiting on, for everybody to die, for all the kids to kill themselves? And and then we already know a idle mind is the devil's workshop. Okay, so they're
Right,
not getting an education, they're being poisoned. We don't have really a public safety position. What is going on in the city is ridiculous, and we have our city council and our um local government trying to block people from coming to city council meetings to voice their concerns, to stop elected officials from representing the people that voted for them. They think that's city business. That's what they call taking care of residents. And then this is where we have to realize as residents, because I hear a lot of people say, well, that's okay. Next time we ain't going to vote for them. Well, guess what? It is okay, because they're stealing everything they want now and they're going to be gone next time. They're probably not running again. Some of these people aren't here to get reelected, they're here to get paid. And guess who's left holding the bag? People on fixed incomes, people that can't afford to move, people that can't afford. It's all economics. And we are being set up for failure by people that we trusted to do right by us. And if you speak out against that or express any type of dismay at this time, you're a target. I don't even go down there because I can't afford to go to jail right now. And I'm just not the type of person to sit back and watch injustices happen in my community and not say anything. I'm just not that cool. I wish I was. I wish I was the type of girl that could sit back and not say nothing or whatever the case may. I'm not. I'm like Bernie Mac. I'm gonna say something, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble, and that's not gonna help. So,
okay.
and they're setting us up for a lot of lawsuits. You have to realize you're violating people's constitutional rights. The Constitution says people have a right to, one, freedom of speech, to speak out against government without uh, repercussions or backlash, peaceful protest. We're being violated on so many levels. So, do you actually think that some of those people are not going to sue the city? And then who's going to pay for that?
Yeah, you're right. I want to get to my next question. It's like a two-part question. You about answered it, but do you think our generation will ever see clean water in Flint, Michigan? And do you think we will ever get our lawsuit money?
No, I think just like some of that water crisis money went to, I think it was Port Huron, getting their water pipelines or something done. I'm not exactly clear on that because it's been so long, but other people have been allowed to touch the money before the victims have. And like the attorneys, some of them, they've gotten paid. So how come none of the victims have been paid? And I understand the attorneys deserve to get paid for their work, but the victims also deserve to get paid for being victims. We were poisoned by the government. Okay. But the problem is, we as a people are, it's a whole nother, and I don't want to just be all over the place, but I don't think we will. I think when they turn that money loose, most of the residents that look like you and I will um, move, become fatigued, die of cancer. The young people will probably be locked up or, not given adequate education to sustain themselves in the community because the price of everything, the cost of living is going up. How will they support themselves? I mean, the jobs are not being issued out because we're looking at wide open contracts not being issued out properly. Right before your very eyes, they've done this no bid garbage crap. Okay. So if they'll do that in front of your face, imagine what they'll do behind your back. Miss,
Absolutely.
yeah, Miss Shasta. They're mad about Miss Shasta on the ENA board, Ethics and Accountability Board. So they put her personal information, driver's license number, address, all her personal information out there for the public. Now this is supposed to be a discreet board. This is supposed to be, you know, high esteem, ethics and accountability. And then this is the sad part. When those issues come before the ethics and accountability board, they're complicit. They don't want to part. They don't have nothing to say until one of them are being attacked, until they're being drugged, until they're being character assassinated. They don't seem to know what's right until it's their turn. And unfortunately, that's what we see in our local government. I'm not going to just speak up for you when you won't speak up for anybody else, Mr. Leader. You know, I think we have to be clear that when we participate in that type of behavior, now you basically criminal in your act, derelict in your duty. So don't expect those people that have saw you cut your community's throat to treat you in high esteem. You will be tossed aside after they get everything they need up out of you. Who wants, I mean, I wouldn't support somebody if I saw you turn on your own people. Even though it was benefiting me, best to know when I get what I want up out of you, I'm done with you. Why would I keep you around? I can't trust you. Your own people can't trust you. You got family members that live in the city and you ain't even bothered to give them fresh water. So why would I think you take care of my people when you won't take care of your own?
Yeah, that leads me to my next question. First ward senior citizens, and
The least of thee.
how do you plan on helping them? Like I know it's really a government issue, but far as on the you know what I'm saying, the personal tip, as far as you being a council person, how could you help the seniors out, especially the ones that's on fixed incomes and struggling to keep their grass cut and just keep their upkeep on their houses. Period. In the first, we talking first ward.
Well, the first thing I would like to see happen is the grant dollars. Those are important, but not just grant dollars. Leveraging the dollars that is in place because Joe Biden has put a lot of dollars out here because he recognizes what is going on in our communities. Okay. The problem is your local government did not fill out the paperwork to get those dollars into your community. Okay. So we have to find out what Washington has already given us, given cities like Flint, Saginaw, Detroit, Pontiac, because some of those people they're receiving, they're getting their ARPA dollars and getting new roofs and getting windows and there's a lot of programs out there, but we have to find out what those programs are about and spread the word. So and I have been doing some research on that, but we have to get down to Lansing first and see what is going on and what is available to us. We can always start there. Then there's cost of living expenditures, like on my job, we get a cost of living allowance. Maybe we need to look into some of that. But like I said, we can't really count any of the processes out because we don't know what is sitting there waiting for us. You know, we have to make sure that we're taking advantage of the benefit that has already been given to us by the local government. We have infrastructure dollars that are available that, to my understand, we're not utilizing. Some of that can go to the least of these. There's all kind of programs out there for residents, but we have been taken advantage of, and those things aren't being taken advantage of. We're spending all of our time doing the crab in the bucket thing. And
Right.
it's stuff going on out there. But we've got to know that we have to work together as a city. Uh, the first ward won't get it, and then the second and third ward don't get it. We have to we have to come together as a team. We have to work together as a team. We have to get into think tanks and say, okay, this is available, this is available, this is available. What do we need? What do our seniors need? What does our education system need? And then we have to leverage those dollars down. We have to start there because we already know they're on fixed incomes. Like the water situation. How is the water rates getting ready to go up 33 to 35%? It's already an $88 or $80 flat rate on water that I can't even drink. And now you want to shoot that bill up some more? We paying some of the highest water rates in the country, and the water is not even drinkable. And we don't know what it's doing to us as far as washing our bodies with it. We don't know how that's going to affect us. So I think we have to start with our food programs, with the things that are available for us through our government. We have to make sure the least of thee are receiving what they deserve. We have to take care of one another. We have to put the petty Freddy and petty Betty aside and get down on the business. And that because I can't afford to save them and you can't either. None of us can. Only our government can do that. And as taxpayers, we can, and you can go to your government, just like when we were in the school district, we could go to MDE and ask for the same monies, grant funds that Mott's getting. We don't have to just go to them. The same place they get their money is the same place we can get our money. But we have not been leveraging those dollars. So we have to start there, in my opinion. We have to see what is available to us, and then we have to activate. And we have to do it as a whole. We have to stand united.
Right. How do you plan on lightening up some of this crime in the first war? To my understanding, it was a lady on around, I think on Barber Drive, man, in the middle of the day. I think
Yep.
they
Somebody
jumped out
pulled in
on her.
behind her. Yep,
Yeah,
pulled
they
in, blocked her in.
yeah,
Okay, and this is another
yeah,
thing because
yeah,
it was supposed to be a bill that some type of legislation. Why don't we have cameras? What happened to our helicopter? You know, what happened to those things? But
right.
it is no reason in this day and age with all this technology, and I think that person was caught due to a neighbor's ring camera. This is how we're solving crimes with neighbors' ring cameras. How come we can't put camera surveillance up on poles in the community? You know your areas that are riddled with crime. Let's start there. You know how you go through those neighborhoods and they say they had a little eyes. We are watching you, and you got your neighborhood crime. We do have a new police station up there, supposedly on Clio Road. Is that? Yeah, I think it's a new police
You
station up
talking
there on
about
Clio Road.
that mini station that where the payment center at?
Yeah.
I think. Okay.
Yes. So
Yeah.
if we had surveillance on our streets, then why couldn't they sit there and keep an eye on that? How come there's no? Let's start with the most basic thing. Let's get some police presence in the community. I haven't seen a Flint police car on the north side of Flint cruising the neighborhoods, and God knows when. I remember coming up when the police was always riding through the neighborhood, up and down DuPont Homes, Clio Road, just keeping an eye out. Let's start there because even if us as residents are proactive, criminals will attack residents because they know we don't have the support of the police. We have to get the support of our police going. We have to start with public safety,
We-
which is the public safety plan that I said we need not just in the first ward, but for the entire city.
Absolutely. And I was thinking this, right? If you was to win the first world council seat, would you like be opposed to doing something like for these kids or our first world kids, like a some type of mentoring program or something to try to get them off the streets? I'm talking about just for first world. I understand the whole city needed, but
Well,
if you knock it down one section at a time, you know what I
like
mean, you can get done.
like what I would like to see in the first ward, like I said, is the community gardens, because that teaches children how to grow their own food. Okay, we have we have kids going hungry. When I was on the school board, it was so sad. We had a large student population of homeless children. Okay, that's sad. We have so many systemic issues. So I would like to see gardening programs and teach young people how to garden. We need to bring back, and they attacked our school system for a reason, because we had one of the best school districts in the country. They used to have other people or other areas come to Flint, and our school system was a pilot at one time. Okay. We had automotives in the school, we had home ec, we had where you can go out to the skills center, and they gave everything away. We have to hang on to something for ourselves. So I would start. That's where I wanted to start when I was on the on the school board. I wanted to start with the gardening, because let's just be honest. This marijuana growth situation is life changing. You might not like it, but that's what's going on. And our kids are doing some of everything. I think educating them. Okay, we used to have pre-engineering in the school districts. I think we have to get back to our pilot programs. We have colleges in the area, and you can do the dual programs. But what about our younger children? Because when you go to, like, for example, uh, out there on Miller Road, the crab place, where they what is not Tangy Crab, the other one. This lady has kids waist high, her children, in there working, learning the business, learning how to survive. It starts early. They won't make it on an accident. We have to start back educating our students. So I would like to see those type of programs come back. Would I be willing to do a program like that? Yes, I would love to do the gardening program. I can't do all the programs. I'm not an engineer. I can't fix a car, but I think our greatest resource is our community. And we have people that are willing to take young people under their wings, but they don't have the funding. We have to get back to the funding. And see, the funding is hooked up to people that will tell you, you have to do this or give me this for me to give you that. Well, if you really here for the kids, then I shouldn't have to give you anything. You should be here for the kids. So we have to get back to getting those programs back going. We have to find people that are willing to do that. Like just with this grass around here. It's nothing to get a lawnmower, and you don't have to get it from Ashley Capital. Get some lawnmowers, get some young men, because there's plenty of young men who would love to be cutting grass and starting them lawn care service. Uh, what do you call that when you make it really pretty? I seen a young guy doing that, planting the flowers and landscaping. Those are viable businesses. When I was in the fourth grade, me and my friend Twyla Reeves, we used to shovel snow in the winter, rake leaves in the fall, and cut grass in the summer, and we kept a pocket full of money. So I
Yeah, I was
think,
just go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead. No, you go
I was
ahead.
just saying, I was just telling my son that the other day. I said, man, we used to in the wintertime shovel snow, have a pocket full of money running back and forth to the stove. We used to cut grass, all that, man. I said, y'all kids don't
Yes.
want to do nothing now. You know what I mean?
Well, that's because of so many reasons. But like I said, there are a few kids that want to do it, but they don't know how to get this thing off the ground. But it starts with a lawnmower and an edger that you can get from the pawn shop. We have to get back to the basics. We do.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That all falls back with teaching them economic development. What's your stand on economic development for the city?
I'm for economic development if they're really working for the city and the people. If you're just gonna be uh one more third party go between this lace in your pockets and it's gonna be a part of the setup. Because I when I was in the school district, I was totally against third party everything because when we did it all in house, we were great. The third parties, you sign the contract and they give you what they want you to have, and you're locked in with the contract. So what are you gonna do? Nothing but pay them. Okay. So we have to get back to independency. And even with our economic development, those dollars need to be watched. And we need to be honest about what is happening to our money. And then when people are not doing what they're supposed to do, we're going to have to start getting law enforcement to address that. How come nobody these people have got caught receiving lawnmowers, voting on their own stuff and everything? How come nobody's showing up? And as long as you have no accountability, criminality will run rapid. Okay. So don't even worry about the kids. We got to get these adults in line first. And then you're right, the kids don't. Why would they? Because now they're on the computer. They're getting raised on. We got kids that can't even sign their name. When I was out getting my signature, I went to a house and this gentleman was grown, 21 years old. And he told me, I said, you have to sign right here. He said he don't know how to sign his name.
That's
But
sad.
they used to
That's
teach that in
sad.
the third grade.
That's sad.
And I understand we do everything on the computer, but when you get a credit card, you have to sign. When you buy a house, you have to sign. When you buy a new car, you have to sign.
Right. And it's ironic how they got say they gave us smartphones, but it's making us dumb. You get
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yes.
you know,
They want you, they want you hooked to the button because now ain't no telling how many people getting paid off the click.
it's
It's no
definitely about
longer,
design. It's definitely
yes,
about design.
it's no longer beneficial to teach you. Because then how can they bring in all they fake programs? You know,
Right. Right.
we have some on paper, we have some of the best programs you'd ever want to hear about. Anybody can write anything on paper, but where is the fruition of the work?
Right.
I mean, because like I said, I remember I even worked at St. Peter's Church one summer before I went away to college. And what we did was it was like a summer school program, but it wasn't really summer school, but say like tutoring. It was a tutoring service. Okay. Where is that? Where are those classes? Used to have summer, used to have day camp up at the elementary school. And then they'd hire teenagers, like students that were home from college and stuff. And if you were 16, they would be the overseers, making sure we're playing ball, we're being fair, organizing. That's how you teach young people leadership and responsibility.
Right.
They stripped us completely of all that. So now,
Everything.
yeah,
I'm
so
gonna
now
tell
the
you.
kids ain't interested in working now.
Let me tell you another thing that's sad. I seen an experiment on TikTok. This dude was pulling up to kids hanging out for like they hanging out from the corner store or whatever, and he had a clock and he put it on a certain time, a wall clock, and he said, "What time is it?" They couldn't even tell him what time it was because
They need
it
digital.
wasn't digital. It wasn't digital. You get what I'm saying? Man,
I
I
do.
almost cried. I couldn't believe it. I'm saying he asked about 10 different, youths. We make and could none of them could none. They was guessing. That's sad,
It
and
is.
it's
It's a
all by
disgrace.
design. It's all by
It's a
design.
disgrace. But
Yeah,
this
it's
is
all by
this is what
design.
we have. But this is what we have to realize. Because today we're good, but when you get old, guess who's gonna be in charge?
The kids. That's why I'm concerned about
They
the
can't tell time.
the
They can't
grandkids.
sign their name. That's right.
Right, right. Our grandkids. That's who's gonna
And when
be.
and when we was coming up, I couldn't wait to get grown so I could get out my mama house and I'm gonna get a job. And now these kids is
They
living
got to
off the.
and they got to stay in the basement. They
That's where
can't
they
leave.
staying.
Hey, look, they
That's where
can't
they
leave.
staying.
They got to stay in
You
the basement. You know what
you
I'm
know,
saying? But
and then right on even down to the rap music. I was listening to a guy saying he went to a meeting with all these record executives, and this was when KRS-One was out. And they said they could not have conscious rap. And they literally sabotaged the rap game. And the next thing you know, we talking about prostitution and selling dope. And then I'm looking at these
We,
city girls, the city girls.
yeah,
She
yeah,
they acting like they selling so many records. Well, one that went to jail for credit card fraud, and the other one is a sex worker. Come to find
exactly,
out, and selling
exactly,
drugs and
exactly,
selling records. I
exactly.
mean, my God, you got to do all
Yeah.
that. I mean, you got to sell drugs, your body, and records.
Yeah, they say that record industry is it ain't what it's cracked up to be. You know what I mean? Because if you look at it like if you want to talk about some old school stuff like Schoolie D and all them, they went to prison the rest of their life for robbing banks, and these was what I'm saying was national artists like you say, they making all this
Mhm.
money supposedly, and then still got to do fraudulent stuff.
Is that what
So
happened to Scooby D?
yeah, school. You remember school? Not hold
Yeah,
up, not
I
Schoolie
remember
D.
him.
Not hold up, not Schoolie D. What's the other one? I ain't gonna put that on Schoolie D. Yes, it was. The one Schoolie D kind of fat.
Uh,
I
I
think
can't
that was.
remember.
Yeah, that was him out of Philadelphia. Yeah, they ended up robbing a bank, and
Did you
he in
know
prison,
Fetty
and they
Wap was
killed
in
somebody.
prison? Did you know
Who?
Fetty Wap was in prison?
Yeah. He been he down in Florida. Yeah, he in the joint. Yeah, he about finna come home in a minute though. Yeah,
So
I think
what
he
is
got he
going
had got
on?
7 years. He had got 7 years for selling drugs.
So we got to ask ourselves, what is going on when these record artists are selling all these records, but yet you have to sell drugs, your body, and drug people, and then this is the sad part, and not to get off track, but this is
Right,
just one more example of the
right,
setup.
right.
They've allowed Puff Daddy to get away with possible murders, drugging people, child molestation, and all these crimes, and you just you ain't sure if you got a case against him. But any poor person can do one thing, and you got a case so thick you get to talking about you've been watching them for 10 and 12 years, but here you've allowed this man to just destroy careers, lives. It is an assault on the community, in my opinion. We have to get back to policing ourselves. It's so sad.
Yep,
But we also, like I said, it's back to accountability. We got to hold our police, our local government, our law enforcement, our court system,
yep.
because I'm wondering how is all this going on at city council,
They gotta
and
be held accountable. They gotta be held accountable.
nobody's picking up charges. Nobody. I mean, you mean to tell me you can? It's just a sad place. So
Man, they lawless. They lawless and corrupt.
I'm hoping that we can bring accountability back. What I hope to do is to hold ourselves. We have to hold ourselves accountable. Okay, when
Right.
everybody else is failing us. I mean, I'm all for boycotting. I've said that before. I'm back to wanting to boycott. See, because we know these people are violating us in our communities, but yet we support them. If your program is not up to par, then we need to not deal with them. But still, we sit at the table with them. And it's okay to allow them to come back to the table if they're done their restitution away. But we have to let them know we will hold you accountable and we will get rid of you ultimately.
Right.
We can't keep going along to get along. It's not working out for us.
Right. Um, I got one. Like, I want. Like I said, I want to play this political game with you, but I want you to look into the camera
Okay.
and tell the first ward, tell the whole city why you should be the next first ward council person, woman, Flint, Michigan.
Okay. First of all, and I will continue to work on the things that the late Eric Mays was working on, like getting those ARPA funds to the community. It is no reason why none of the ARPA dollars have went to the least of the homeowners, families that have been here toughing it out. So that is one of the first things I would like to address. And I would also like to look into our land bank and HUD programs to find out what it takes to get affordable housing back to the community. Um, what else we were working? Oh, the blight situation. that doesn't have to be like that. We can definitely do something about that. I would like to get a public safety program on deck for us, a program to fight blight, or a plan to fight, not a program, but a plan to fight blight. And I'm willing to speak out and do those things. I'm not for sale, and I have been in the first ward all of my life, and I've served in a public capacity. I'm the only candidate on the ballot that has ever won an election with a proven track record. Okay. And I'm not going to go along with the silliness. I understand the importance of titles and things of that nature. But if it does not benefit the first ward, the residents, the taxpayers in the city, I promise you, I will not sell you out. They will not get my support if they are not looking out for you. I am here for the residents. I always have been. And that's just where I stand. I am a 28-year auto worker and UAW member. I understand what it means to have organization, okay? Organized labor force. And the same thing has to transcend over into your local government. You have to have organization. The rules and the policies have to be clear for everybody, and we have to hold everybody accountable. That's when we start getting things up and moving, and we have to take care of our seniors. We have to take care of our children and our seniors. As Mr. Mays used to say, the least of thee. Um, and I think if we do that, then we can possibly survive. At the rate we are going, we are headed for a state takeover. And I think we fought too hard to get out of that situation. And I don't think that's what we necessarily need, but I think that is where we're going. And I promise you, I will fight to balance budgets. I will fight to make sure the funds that should go where they should go will get there. That is my commitment to the people. I will work for you. I have a job where I'm working for myself. If I am elected to that job says I am supposed to work for you, and that is exactly what I will do.
Okay, y'all heard it right here from After Dark podcast. Miss Carol McIntosh.
Yes.
He just was talking to the first ward. She was talking to
All
the
right.
city. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? And now let's get to the good part. I got
All
this
right.
game for you before we get
Okay.
out of here. It's called Would You Rather Politically. It's not personal,
Right.
politically. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's okay. Okay. Eric Mays or Floyd McCree.
Eric Mays.
Okay. Dr. Karen Weaver or Vice President Harris.
For what though?
It's political. Just would you rather politically? You
Oh,
know what I mean?
I'm going with Karen Weaver. She
Okay.
navigated through
Okay.
through a
Okay.
crisis. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Jerry Wilfrey Carter or Tanya Burns.
I don't know. I can't decide.
If you want to plead the fifth, you can plead the
I'm
fifth. But that
I'm
you
pleading
taking
the
forever
fifth.
the game.
I'm pleading the fifth on that. But either one,
You-
I take either one and be
okay.
happy because them
Okay.
girls is gonna
I got
stand up.
yeah. They both working. I gotta I gotta put your feet to the fire.
Yep, I got you.
That's what you know
I
what I mean.
got
What this game for? Okay. Okay. Liddell Lewis or Quincy Murphy.
you. Give me
You gotta
Quincy.
have one. You gotta pick one.
Give me. I say Quincy. I say Quincy because
Okay.
at least
Okay.
Quincy ain't trying to jump on people and get people
Okay.
locked up.
Okay. I got a good one for you. Jonathan Jarrett or Dennis Pfeiffer.
I haven't seen Mr. Jarrett's work, but I'm trusting that he is going to do all he said he would. I like Mr. Pfeiffer. Um, I think Mr. Pfeiffer is in a higher place right now, caught between a rock and a higher place when somebody stands up over you and in an assaulting manner and then accuse you of racial things and you're in a predominantly black city. That is a higher position to sit in. So I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one. I'm pleading the
Okay.
fifth on that one.
Okay. 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 Um, Candace Moose shit or Judy Preston.
Give me Judy Priestley. Give
Okay.
me Judy. Give me
Okay.
Judy.
Um, current Chief Terrence Green or former Chief Tim Two Gun Johnson?
Give me Tim.
Okay. Former Sheriff Uncle Joe Wilson or current Sheriff Chris Swanson?
I like Chris Swanson, but
Okay.
it's too much crime going on, so I'm gonna go with Joe Wilson because Joe Wilson
Okay.
was cracking tails. Joe didn't play with him.
Uncle Uncle Joe locked me up a million times. That's right.
He don't play. He don't
Yeah, you
play.
don't play.
It didn't matter who you was. You can go to the clink if you ain't doing the right thing.
That's
Okay.
right.
He was.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah. I'm going
Okay.
with
We
that.
got. You remember Art Bush? You remember the prosecutor Art Bush or our
Yeah.
current prosecutor David Lathan? Lathan.
You know what? I like Mr. Latham, but he ain't been available to us lately. I don't, in my opinion. And Art Bush, I don't really remember much he did, but I can tell you in the past we had uh a real legal system, real policing, real
Okay.
accountability. So I'm definitely going to go with the people from the past.
Bush. Art Bush.
Yeah, when I'm unsure, I'm going with the
Okay.
people from the past because
Okay.
they were productive.
Okay. Let's see who you go with on this one. Leon Elamine or Mayor Neely.
For what?
Just if you had to deal with him politically, just you
I'm
only
go-
could you
I'm
only could
go-
deal with one.
I'm going with Elamine. I'm going
Okay.
with Elamine.
Okay.
I'm going with
Okay.
Elamine.
Okay. We ain't talking personal. We talking politics.
Right,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. I
Okay.
believe, and I
Okay.
don't know a lot about Mr.
Right.
Elamine, but he seems
Right.
to be approachable, and he seems like he can be talked into
Okay.
maybe doing the right thing. But from what I've
Okay.
received these last few
Okay.
years, I mean, I ain't seen nothing to be
Right.
proud of. So I'll take a chance with Elamine on that.
Okay. I got an easy one for you. Rose Moreau or Carol McIntosh.
Carol McIntosh, I'm rolling with
I
me.
know.
Oh,
That's why I said I
what?
had an easy one for
Every
you.
time.
Hey, you got. Hey, you better. Who? If you don't, who gonna pat you on your back if you don't pat yourself? Um,
Right.
Michael Clack or Cynthia Neely.
I'm going with Michael Clack on that. I have to go with Michael Clack on that.
Okay. And I got one last one. Flint Black Lives Matter or the Flint NW chapter or NWDC out of Flint. We ain't talking about national chapters. We talking about our chapters right here in this city. Black Lives Matter or NAACP. Which one would you rather deal with?
I'm gonna go with the NAACP because I'm an NAACP member, and
Oh,
I
okay,
and I
cool. I ain't see. I
yeah
ain't even know that.
yeah
I
I'm
ain't
an
even know
NAACP.
that.
So if
I
I
ain't even
don't
know
like
that.
what's happening, even if they not gonna do what I would like them to do, I do know them personally, and I don't have a problem with speaking to them honestly.
Okay. Okay.
So
Well, guess what? You got through it. That's it. That wasn't that hard. In the
it was
beginning.
it,
In
it
the
was
beginning.
rough. It was
In the
pretty
beginning.
rough, but I'm not gonna, and I
Yeah.
wish all of them the best of luck. And
Yeah. Yeah.
and let me say
Absolutely. It
this:
ain't
it's
right.
not
Absolutely.
easy. It's not easy to sit in those positions. None of them are easy. I'm gonna say
Right.
that.
Right.
Especially when you don't have the support you need, or the people don't have the vision you have. So you can have a great idea, but without support to make it come to fruition, it's just a dream. So we have to get back to getting those thoughts out of our head and actually getting them into the natural, you know.
Right.
So
But I want to say this. Like I told you earlier. I want the best person to get Eric's the great consummate. He's always gonna be known this seat to me. I want the right
yeah,
person to get it. I'm not no hater. You know what I
right,
mean? I want to get everybody their fair shot, their fair
right,
chance, and just do the city right. Just do the city good.
right.
You know, if you get there, do the city good and keep fighting. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
Just keep fighting and
absolutely.
you know what I mean? I wish you luck, you know what I'm saying, in your
Yeah,
endeavors
thank you.
and moving forward in your campaign. And you got any closing remarks you want to say to the city before we get out of here?
I do. My name is Carol McIntosh. I am a candidate for the First Ward City Council seat. I am the only candidate that has ever been voted in by the people, for the people, with a proven track record. You can see my work on YouTube, in the Ethics and Accountability Board meetings, as well as the Flint School Board meetings. Like I said, if I have to stand alone to stand up for you, then that is what I am willing to do. And I would appreciate your support on August 6th. Thank you.
August 6th, y'all. And actually, the early voting start. What is it? July 6th, 7th. The
I don't
early
know.
vote. I
I
think
don't know. I
it's
think
the
it's like
7th.
45 days before the election day. I thought. I'm not sure about that though.
That's
So I
coming
will
up.
see
It's
that.
coming up real soon. So y'all get
Yeah.
out and vote. And I ain't gonna tell y'all who to vote for, but get out and vote. You know
Yes,
what
and
I'm
I
saying?
appreciate your support.
And I appreciate you for coming on.
Yes, thank you so much.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Hey, I gotta get. Hey, I want the exclusive interview now. If you want to see, don't forget about
Okay.
me. Okay.
Oh no, you got it. You got
Okay.
it.
All right.
All right. Bye
All
bye.
right.
You're now rocking with Terrence Sale on Flint's #1 online podcast, Flint After Dark. We speak for the streets.
It's your boy, Terrence Sales, a.k.a. Mr. Speak for the Streets, a.k.a. Big T, and you locked in to the #1 podcast in Flint, Michigan, Flint After Dark. We speak for the streets.
I'm from Flint, Flint. Fight like it's no tomorrow, motherfucker.
Yeah. Thinking to myself like, what the fuck is going on? Asking God for help like, what the fuck I'm doing wrong? He ain't giving me no answers, I figured it out myself. Got tired of asking questions, I'm tired of looking for help. Man, I can't win for losing, I'm steady taking these losses. Had to bury greed and chink, same week, 2 different coffins. Man, that shit'll traumatize you when it ain't trying to. Everybody shedding tears, you trying not to cry too. They say they feel my pain, but they don't know how much I'm hurting. Mama told me pray, it usually help, but it ain't working. Just to numb this pain, I'm popping Perkins by the 30s.
Ray, you gone crazy. You are now tapped in with the most realest and controversial show on the net.